Hello fellow tankers, this is Dauntless, and today I'm going to be playing a game in my Tier 9 Chinese heavy tank, the WZ-111 1-4. And as I mentioned previously, I adore this tank. Again, it's probably my favorite Tier 9 heavy tank in the game, and I keep it in my garage. I play it a lot when I get a chance to play Tier 9s, and the fact that they made this vehicle lead to 2 Tier 10 vehicles gives me a more excuse to play it, because now I can grind towards another tier tank, and I am excited to get the 5A. I don't know if I'll get it anytime soon because, again, I have a lot of vehicles I'm playing and I don't really have a lot of credits on my account, but I will get there eventually. And today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm actually platooning with Jax in his T30 and Tankers Asylum in his T54 lightweight. Both of these are some of my Patreons, and they support me, and they give me feedback on my channel all the time. Really nice guys, and we also play together here and there whenever I get the chance. We're both all three of us are top tier on this game, and the map is Winters Himmelsdorf, and the teams are pretty okay. They do have a few blue players. The Leopard PTA, which will most likely be on the hill, will be a little bit of a pain to take out because he is a good player. The RU-251, not a lot of tanks that are going to be taking the hill. And again, their lineup is relatively similar to ours, and so I'm not going to really change my tactics too much. The one thing I will point out is that they only have 3 medium tanks, and you might argue that we only have 2. But they have me, and I play my heavy tank, this WZ in particular, like a medium tank because it is fast enough, meaning I'm going to take the hill. I also have the backup of my platoon mates, and I asked them to support the hill with me. You have to take advantage of these opportunities and realize there's a weakness on a certain flank and abuse it. I'm noticing here that they're only going to have probably 3 or 4 vehicles at the most on the hill, and being top tier in a platoon full of tier 9s with big guns, you're going to be able to just completely wreck a certain flank, which allows you to ultimately win more games, because if our other flank falls during that time, we can easily turn back and not worry about being surrounded, and if our team holds in the in the city, we'll be able to turn around and catch them in the flank. So anyway, with that being said, we will get this game started. So again, I communicated over TeamSpeak with Jax and Asylum that we were going to be taking the hill, and they agreed with me, and we are going to just make it up there. I'm really not going to be too passive when I take the hill, because this vehicle has great armor, and there's, again, the Leopard PTA is going to be on the hill. I'm almost certain of it, but with this boomstick with 490 alpha damage and my frontal armor, he's not going to trade well with me, and he's going to get killed very quickly if I push into him. And you can see this vehicle, even while it is a heavy tank, it kind of struggles going up hills, but when it's on a flat, it just can get up to its top speed very quickly, and it makes this vehicle just a pleasure to play. Now, Asylum pushes up ahead, and we weren't really talking too much about what we were going to do on the hill. I just told him we're going to take the hill. I think he might have taken that as we're going to be really aggressive, which, again, I plan to be, but he got a little bit carried away and pushed into a position that I would not recommend taking in a light tank. The only tanks that can take that position reasonably well are tanks like the 113, the 121, actual tier 10 heavy tanks, and some medium tanks, but unfortunately he gets himself in a position with a light tank that he really shouldn't be in, and because of that he dies very, very early on in the game, which is kind of unfortunate. But once he committed to that position and once I realized what he was doing, it was just far too late for him to turn around. So I peek around this corner, put a nice juicy shot into the side of the FCM, and I love this gun so much. M103 crests, and he realizes that he's not going to get much of a shot, so don't ask me why, but he just kind of pops the shot into me, and doing that is a bad idea because I'm going to just put one nice shot into him, and he's not going to be feeling very well about it. FCM gets greedy, peeks around, takes the opportunity because he knows I fired, but I have a lot of allies behind me. I'm going to pause the game really quickly here. So check out what's happening. The 7-9 line here, whatever tank alley, whatever it's called, is overrun. If you use XVM, notice that all of the enemy vehicles have already been lit, meaning we already know where everything is. There are quite a few vehicles up this side here, but really vehicles that kind of camp here are going to be relatively passive. Vehicles out in the 1-2 line, again, are going to be passive, especially with a Scorpion and our T54, or what is that? Yeah, the T54E1 sitting by that KB5. So really, I'm not too worried about this flank for now. I think even if they are super aggressive, this Oho is a blue player, meaning he's going to be a harder player to contest. What I'm really worried about is Tank Alley, and if they're able to come through here before we can take the hill, we're going to have tanks behind us, and we're going to have tanks in front of us, and theoretically we could lose this very quickly if that happens. So you got to really keep an eye on the mini-map. Now seeing this, I'm going to be very aggressive. I see that M103 pushes. He's trying to hold his lower plate under the wreckage of that FCM, but his cupola is just a huge weak spot, waiting for him to fire his gun again, just so I don't get hit. He fires, really trying to conserve my HP. There's no point being the one taking all the damage. So another nice shot into his cupola, and you can really see how fast this gun just chews through vehicles. Leopard PTA is up here as well, and artillery stuns me, and I really want to pull forward to get a nice shot into this guy. This is when I use auto aim because I really don't want to back into one of my allies. Jax is able to put a nice shot and catch the PTA on fire. He's down to 57 health, and this is important. I don't stop to reload and shoot him because I know that my allies are probably going to finish him off, but I look at the base and I realize it's not worth it. Even if it was me and one other guy, I would let the other guy just finish him off and move, because it's not worth the few seconds I'm going to be wasting, because again, time is of the essence here. Our base is being captured, there's a lot of vehicles moving in, and if you don't get in position quickly, you're not going to get any shots, and once they're clustered all on base around the buildings, it's just kind of pointless. Able to put a nice roll, 563 into the side of that KV-4, and the VK pushes around. He's looking up at me. I'm waiting for my reload. I can hold on relatively well here, so I'm not too worried about him being able to pen me. I fire a little bit prematurely. I should have aimed that a little bit more, because the shot does swing a little bit low, hits him in the spaced armor and the tracks. It does no damage. So he peeks around the corner again. I take my time to aim that time and put a nice shot into him. So far, we are losing, but we are in a stronger position. They're kind of right in the center of the map, and we have them kind of surrounded. That won't last a lot longer, because our KB5 is being absolutely wrecked by that UDES and whatever else is over there. And so I realize that something needs to happen. I don't want to push in there quite yet, because I feel like the Centurion might peek around this corner and I want to get a shot into him. And with the pressure that the T-30, or I guess Jax and the EML are putting on them, as well as this IS-6 pushing forward, I feel like they're going to peek around, and I want to, again, try to conserve my HP. But now there's 3 on cap, they're at 50%, 18 seconds left. I realize now that it's a good time to push. I put a quick shot in, or I guess I don't put a quick shot into that RU-251, but I realize that it's time to move in, and I do so. The OHO is back by their enemy base, and so I'm not really worried about him at all, and the Centurion does get lit, and I bounce a shot off of him luckily, and I push forward. And right now I still have most of my life left, which is great. I push in here. I do take a shot from the RU, but I'm able to easily finish off that KV-4. Now they only have 1 on cap, and it looks like we're going to be able to hold them off, but now we're down to just 3. And the situation doesn't look that great. Again, the Centurion peeks around. He takes a shot from both myself and Jax, and he's regretting his decision. But right now, we got to put the pressure on, because we have 3 enemy vehicles behind us, and the second they get our flank, it's over. So what I do here is, I know he's going to back up. He gave me the shot earlier, I just didn't have enough aim time. And because I know he's going to back up just like he did last time to avoid getting shot, I pre-aim this location, and I'm able to finish him off. These are little things that you need to start realizing. Watch patterns of the enemy vehicles, because a lot of the time they're going to play the same thing over and over again, show up in the exact same spot that they were last lit, and because of that, you can really take advantage, and even with a long reload gun like this WZ, you can actually make your shots count. So Centurion is probably around this corner, and I side scrape thinking, okay, I don't want to have him take a shot at me if I can help it. And then this WZ gets lit. Centurion's right there. He puts a shot into me, but before he can reload, I push forward and put a nice shot into him, finishing him off. Now this WZ is around the corner, and because of that, I load an HE shell. Now we are 3v3. We have an advantage because we have 3 tier 9 vehicles while they only have 1, but I don't want to get too lax. The WZ pushes around the corner, and he doesn't realize that I'm there, apparently, and I'm able to put a nice roll, 606 damage with my HE, which is actually not, with like almost exactly accurate average of what to expect. I peek around the corner. I don't want to expose myself too much, and unfortunately I was not able to pen him with a second shot, and he was able to put a nice shot into me. I know his reload's going to be quicker than me, so I can't afford to take another shot. Jax, I don't think is lit right now, and so he's, the WT is just completely tunnel visioning me, and he peeks around the corner and is able to get a nice clean kill. Now we are down to a 3v2. We're actually winning this, and I load a heat shell here. Actually, no, I don't. I thought I did. I feel like the Bulldog is going to actually flank me here, and so I peek around this side, wondering if he's going to show up or not, and then I realize, okay, you know what, it's probably not going to come around, but I need to finish off this Oho. He's a good player, and it's really important that we take him out. And here I realize that the Emil is actually probably reloading, and he's taken a lot of damage, and I need to go help him out. So this is when I switch to a heat round, and the Oho's armor is kind of weird, but as long as I can get one of his upper plate or lower plate, I feel like I should be able to pen him with 340 pen. He angles right the last second, and really unfortunate. He's able to finish me off. Jax comes around the corner, and I'm hoping that he can finish him off. And he's still reloading. So Emil finishes him off, and Jax got a little impatient and fired right after the Emil, and the Bulldog is right there. Now it's really awkward. It's a 1v1 tank destroyer versus light tank. Generally these don't turn out very well, especially since Jax is in a paper tank and he only has 200 hit points. The Bulldog will only have to connect 2 shells, which is very easy to do. But I tell Jax, like, push forward, be aggressive. I think the Bulldog is reloading because he's acting kind of weird. He's sitting back, he's not pushing in, even though Jax fired. And that's just, straight up body language. He is basically telling us, come get me because I'm reloading. The Bulldog theoretically should have pushed forward the second Jax fired and got it behind him and just circled him until his reload was complete. But he chose to hide. If you're going to hide, at least turn around and run and get some distance, but he chose to stay, which is eventually going to be the bane of his tank. So Jax is just really taking his time, making sure he gets the right shot. Bulldog makes a little bit of a move, gives him the side of his vehicle right there, and Jax is able to successfully finish off the game and get a win for us. So really good game, really good teamwork. I was able to coach him a little bit as we played, but really had a good time playing with these guys. And ultimately it was a great game. I was able to get 5,600 damage almost and get a nice win. It's always fun playing with a bunch of guys and just kind of chatting as you're playing. So if you guys are interested in platooning with me in the future, check out my Patreon page. The link is down below, and there will be descriptions on how you can get the opportunity to play with me in World of Tanks. I am on the North American server, so for those of you on the EU server, I do apologize. I do not have an EU account currently. Anyway, guys, hopefully you found this entertaining. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a like down below, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for more content like this in the future. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.